I hate the whole self-help industry, right? How can you be happy? What are the 5 steps you can follow to be a millionaire? What are the 7 steps that you need to get the career that you want? You know, me, 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 me. What about helping the guy next to you? What are the 5 steps that you can do to help the person next to you lose some weight? What are the 7 steps that you can follow to help the person next to you find the job that they want? Do you know how we get fulfillment? You can be happy because you did things at work. You can be proud because you did things at work. You can be excited because you had a big success at work. But you know how you feel fulfilled at work? When you do something for someone else. It's the only way we get that feeling. It's the only way we get that feeling. Do you know why the statistics say that over 90% of people don't feel fulfilled by the work they do? It's not because of the job, it's not because of the pay, it's not because of the benefits. It's because we don't help each other anymore. We sit in our cubes and we work. And anything that we turn to anybody is because we need something, we need to get something. And yet we don't put ourselves out there simply for no other reason than to help somebody else. You know what generosity is? Generosity is doing something for someone else expecting nothing in return. At no point ever. I did something for him, why won't he help me? It's not an equation. It's designed to help you feel good. And Mother Nature has given us this feeling when we do something for someone else to encourage us to do it. Because when we are in groups, when we are surrounded by people who believe what we believe, trust emerges and our very survival and progress goes up. Sex feels good. It's why we do it. And Mother Nature has provided that it will feel good so that we can do it more, so that we can procreate. That was not an accident, right? Well, the same goes here. That sense of fulfillment that we get was designed so that we'll do it more, so not only will we procreate, but we'll create strong senses of bonds and cultures amongst each other. I did a little experiment with a homeless person. Not like on them, it's not like electrodes. With them, voluntarily helped me. Because the whole idea of giving, right? You've all walked down the street and you've all seen someone begging and you either have or haven't thrown a few pennies in their cup. When you do, you feel good. You bought that feeling.
Good morning, everybody. I'm John Self. Welcome to Career Live. We're delighted to be with you on a Thursday morning, the last live stream of the week before we enter into a holiday week. Next Thursday is July 4th. I will be traveling on Tuesday, so we will not have a lunch and learn on Tuesday. And since Wednesday is July 4th Eve and people will be rushing home and trying to get away early and get ready to enjoy a day of great celebration in this country. We are not going to have office hours next week. We will return the following week with a full schedule, lunch and learn on a Tuesday, office hours Wednesday, Career Live on Thursday. So thanks for joining us this morning. We are live this morning on YouTube and Facebook. The LinkedIn, there was a problem with connecting with that platform. So we have our people working on that. And by the time following the holiday, hopefully that will be restored. So let's view this week in review and talk a little bit about some of the things I think are important for us to think about as we move toward the holiday week. I think we keep hearing all of these dire predictions about what's going to happen with AI and how it's going to affect so many workers. And you hear these McKinsey reports of 100 trillion workers globally will be affected. Now, be affected and losing jobs are two different things. And in these conversations, you have to be careful about the language you use and the language that the researchers are using, because everything now in journalism is all about clicks and how many people will click to our article, how many people watch our videos, and it's a dog eat dog world. Well, they will sometimes use words and phrases to make it sound a lot worse than it is. In this case, we're not going to have 1 trillion people immediately lose their jobs. It's just, that's not going to happen. On the other hand, the naive approach that some business people are kind of spouting because they don't want to panic the current labor markets, the current economic markets, because it hurts them financially. So they're soft selling this, is that, oh no, there really won't be that many jobs lost. The number of jobs lost will be vastly overwhelmed by the improvements in productivity and the new jobs that are created. Well, unless you're really technologically oriented, if you're a payroll clerk or an accounting clerk, or you are some other administrative person doing repetitive work, and you don't have skills in technology, it's going to be hard for you to become an AI specialist. Okay, so you need to start thinking now about what you're going to do in the next 3 to 5 years. This is not a 10-year runway. This is a 3 to 5 year runway, and you need to start thinking about it today. Now, our specialization at Guiding Your Career and at johngself.com is managers and executives. But because there's a trickle-up effect, I wanted to sort of talk about this today. People who will navigate this successfully are the people who have plans. Now, if you're a regular listener or viewer of this stream, you know that I'm constantly talking about the value of having a written career plan. Written because you hold yourself accountable. People who have plans in their brain, it's very convenient how the brain will say, no, don't worry about holding yourself accountable. We've got this. We know, you know where you're going. You don't have to hold yourself accountable for any specific performance. Well, the truth is, you do, and that's why written plans are so important. And more important is that people with written plans tend to be more successful than those who have no plan or unwritten plans. And people who have written plans tend to do well financially, better than those who have a no plan or an unwritten plan. So having a career plan is really, really important. And now here's why. As we start to have the impact of AI move through society, we're going to lose a lot of those jobs at the clerical, the repetitive jobs that, where you're processing forms, processing payroll, processing accounting, processing invoices. You're going to get this over and over again. Those will be the people who are first to lose their jobs. And there will be millions of those people. So what happens? What do you do if two family members have jobs that are in that segment? It's not a 10-year window for you. It's going to happen much, much sooner. And so, you need to start thinking now. If you wait until you get the pink slip, there's going to be a lot of people at the front door of your organization. And it's going to take time for the economy, even if it can, to absorb those people. So it's very important for you to get out in front. Don't get caught in rush hour. My daughter, God bless her, she's over in Africa on holiday, but she commutes from her home in northern Los Angeles down to the Hollywood area. She works for a big national digital platform company. It's based in Dallas, but they have a big operation in Los Angeles. So 2 to 3 days a week, she has to go down to work, and it takes a long time. It would take a lot longer if she was commuting at rush hour. She gets up early and goes in early and then leaves early so she can beat the traffic. So maybe instead of a 2.5 or 3 hour drive, it's maybe 45 minutes to an hour. And so we always get a chance to talk to her on her commute down and the commute back because she's in the car and that's her distraction is call her parents. So that's such a great thing to be able to hear from her every day when she's going to the office. But listen, it's better to get out in front of the traffic than it is to be caught in the middle of the traffic. So whether you are someone who is in the clerical area who's concerned about getting laid off, or whether you're someone who's a manager or an executive who believes that your company's situation is kind of dicey. Walgreens this morning announced that they would be doing a major redistribution of its assets and would be reducing its retail store footprint. So you're going to have managers that lose their jobs. They say, no, we'll be able to try to move those people around. But there are going to be thousands of people who get displaced. Companies say those things because they have good intentions to do it. But the truth is, people can't move or don't want to make the crosstown commute, or the nearest replacement store is not nearby, or it's a reduction in pay, or there's not a similar job available. So people leave organizations. It's better to get caught. It's better to be out in front of the traffic jam at 6 in the morning than to be in the traffic jam at 8:30 in the morning. And when I say that, I'm talking about planning your next move. If you wait until everybody's rushing to the door, you may get trampled. If you wait till everybody's trying to get in their car and leave the parking lot at one time, you may have a long wait and you may miss the good opportunities. The old expression about the early bird gets the worm, that is absolutely what's going to happen in the AI transformation. The early bird, the people who prepare for the future, will be the people who are able to survive and do well. And so start to think about that. If you don't have a college degree, this is not the end of the world. Let me tell you what's going on. There are a lot of organizations looking for tradesmen, and you may be 40 years old, but you might be able to get, if you have skills, something you've always enjoyed, like woodworking, or you're really, really handy and you're able to fix stuff in the house all the time. There's a big demand. I mean, I'm in a town of about 110,000 people. You can't find enough, quote, handymen in this community. There's a shortage of tradesmen. There's a shortage of plumbers. Now, yes, you have to serve an apprentice. Yes, that's a cut in pay. But once you finish your apprenticeship and you are moving ahead, you can have you can probably make more money than you made as a payroll clerk or as an accounting clerk. That's not the only area of trades. There's, the infrastructure jobs. There's still a lot of money in the economy to replace bridges, dams, and highways. And although that's terrible work, some of those people, if you get one of the good jobs, you are in a good situation. So those jobs will go pretty fast. So you want to get out in front and start thinking about how will you make your transition. Do not wait until rush hour. Do not wait until the pink slips arrive. Get ahead of the crowd. Now, again, I think there's going to be jobs from infrastructure. There are going to be home improvement, small business consulting, hospitality. But once the rush hour begins, the most attractive options will be gobbled up first. Don't panic, okay? This is not a stream to create panic. This is a stream to say, the smart people are the ones that get out in front of a trend. The smart people are the ones that plan ahead. Don't ignore the signs. Don't ignore the signs. Companies are not going to talk a lot in advance because they don't want to start losing their employees before they're ready to get rid of them. So there's a national website called WARN, WARN, and it's a workers retraining act. Basically, that's what it is. But in the act, companies who have more than 100 people at a location are required by law to post notices in advance. I think 90 days. It may be 90 days. I may be mistaken there. But the WARN it's WARN.gov, and that will then have links to all the state sites. And companies are required to notify their states of any mass layoffs in any location where there are more than 100 people. Now, if you're in a smaller retail store, that's not going to work. You just have to be alert, pay attention, listen carefully. Because a lot of times when their companies are beginning to make a shift, they drop hints between the lines, not knowingly, but listen carefully. Don't panic, but have a plan. Don't panic, but have a set plan, and don't ignore the signs. Okay, let's talk about this upcoming week. First of all, Lunch and Learn And office hours will not be held next week because it's a holiday week and a lot of people are traveling, moi included. My wife is coming back from Los Angeles after a couple of weeks house and dog sitting. And so I will be meeting her at the airport in Dallas. For some reason, she didn't want to take a commuter flight all the way in, so I have the distinct honor of going to Dallas through all that mess and heat and to DFW. So I will pick her up on Tuesday, so I will be off that day. I think it is there is a lot of stuff going on. And so we, pay attention to some of our upcoming programs. We have a new Self-Perspective coming out the following week with Mike Capps, a former minor league baseball play-by-play guy. He and I served together as police reporters. He was with the NBC affiliate, and I was at the Houston Post in Houston. And he's had a remarkable second career in sports broadcasting at the minor league level, and he's done very well. And he now is contracted out to several other teams. And he talks about that life and how Major League Baseball is really trying to get more control over the whole vertical of the sport. So those things are coming up. So the summer break is next week, and we will all be enjoyed taking the time off. We still will have our newsletter Monday through Friday next week at Substack at Guiding Your Career Report. And if you're not a subscriber, please check it in. We'll check it out because we every morning at 6:30 we post a themes article about things that are going on in a variety of executive and management job search issues. So that's a good source of information. So check that out next week. And because that will continue even though it's an off week for the live stream. One of the things we focused this week was there's so many executives outside of jobs now, and Korn Ferry, the big global executive search firm, we've been talking about this for several months. Korn Ferry finally posted something on their website last week. The Wall Street Journal has had several articles. Business Insider, which is a great source of business trends, and it's a reasonable subscription. They've had some great reporting. Matter of fact, Business Insider was, I think, the first publication to use the term white-collar recession. And we look at that publication to get good, to catch early indication of trends, and they're very prescient. So you might want to consider subscribing to that publication. But one of the pressing questions from all of these people who found themselves many times through no fault of their own, out of work, either through consolidation, a merger, downsizing. A lot of good people lost jobs. It accelerated. This started happening very quietly started happening around 2010, 2012, when companies began to assign more responsibilities to, executives who were making a good compensation, and it's called elasticity. And basically they're saying, okay, you make a good salary. We want you to also take on this oversight responsibility. And usually executives are only too happy to do that because it expands their scope of responsibility and positions them for their next step up in their career. So it began to happen in the early 2000s. With the start of the pandemic, it exploded because nobody knew what was happening. A lot of companies started shutting down, and a lot of people furloughed executives and managers. And at the time, they used the word furlough, which is you're still associated with the company, but we're not going to pay you, and you're not going to come to the office until we call you back. Sort of like pilot furloughs. And so a lot of people, that was fine. They went about and started doing things to get through the pandemic. And then the pandemic subsided, everybody knew it would, but it took a long time to get through that, and a lot of people lost their lives. And it was one of America's great modern-day tragedies. But companies then realized we don't need all of those people to achieve our operating goals and our quality goals and our productivity goals and our revenue goals and our profitability goals. And so a lot of those jobs were eliminated. People's furloughs were rolled over into layoffs, and that number just grew and grew and grew. And it will continue to grow because there's no indication there's any change where companies are going to start hiring back a lot of executives and managers. They now know they don't need as many people as they once had. And so, people are saying, what can I do to be competitive? I can't afford not to work. And some people have been out of work 6, 8 months to a year or more. What can I do? Well, yesterday on office hours, we went through a 15-point plan, or a kind of a list of things that you need to be doing to really position yourself. Chief among those is, first, you got to understand your value. If you're going to market without understanding your value brand statement, that's a mistake. People say, look, I don't have time for that. I need to get a job now. Well, let me tell you something. The time that you invest in defining your value, which will help you do a better job in your interviews, it'll help you do a better job focusing your resume. The people who invest their time on the front end and go to market correctly, not scatter shooting and applying for all these jobs thinking that more is better. I think that it is something that, you've got to take the time. You've got to be disciplined. You've got to be very intentional. And you have to understand your value. And you have to you need to say, okay, what am I trying to, I want a job. I need to get back to the market. Doing what? Where do I want to be? The other thing we talked about is that a lot of times in the past, people restricted their new job search to a geographic area because their wife didn't want to relocate, or their husband or partner didn't want to relocate. And so they said, oh, no, I can't. I'm really geographically constrained. If you are a primary breadwinner, you need to lose that idea now. You need to be able to spread a broad net across the country, because the broader the net, the better chance you have of finding a management or executive position sooner. If you're very limited to one market, a Dallas, a Houston, maybe even a secondary market, it's just going to take forever. It'll take forever, and you still may not be successful. So broaden your scope, build your network. So many of the good jobs are not even posted. Some estimates are 60 to 70%. So you must be focused on building a network. And that network needs to be in alignment with what your plan goals are. And because, if you're just willy-nilly and you don't have any discipline about who you select as a network, it's not going to be that beneficial. Also, please don't make the mistake that so many people do, is you change jobs and you lose contact with people that you enjoyed working with before, whether it was an executive assistant or whether it was somebody else. I'm guilty as charged. I guess what I'm saying is don't do what I did, do what I say. But those people sometimes can be the people who help you find that better job in the future. So you need to have your network. You need to work on that every day. If you're looking for a job and you're not spending 4 to 6 hours in your home office, your job search central, doing relevant work, not just talking to friends that, be shooting the BS and because that's not going to help you find a job. Okay. Arranging golf outings is not going to help you find a job. Okay. You've got to put the discipline in, and the discipline is you've got to go in and do things you may not like to do, like have cold calls with people that you've connected with on LinkedIn. LinkedIn connections will not find you a job. LinkedIn relationships that you may have started on LinkedIn but nurtured outside that platform can find you, can help you find a job. But referrals, which is very, very important, very, very important to your job search, happen based on trust. And a connection is not a trust relationship. It's an initial relationship. So the other thing, every day you need to keep working on your brand. You need to keep posting to LinkedIn, either repost of relevant news articles or create your own organic content. We also talked about how easy it is. Say you want to do an introductory video, but you really don't understand how to edit video film. And that's real easy if you have access to an iMac, because iMovie is just really easy to use. If I can do it, anybody can. But if you can't do that, say you can use PowerPoint, or even if you have Keynote, which has superior graphics, you can make introductory videos doing slides, and using in iMac, they have something, gosh, I forgot what it's, the special effect that they use on PBS doing the historical things. And it's really funny. They named the effect after Ken Burns effect. And it allows you to zoom in on certain pictures and pull back and add some texture to your video. But you can create your own little bio video using slides and animating it with animated slides, and use music. And you can get access to music through sites like pond.com. Those are for-profit sites where you can buy really nice 30-second, 45-second music for less than $25, $30 in many cases. There are some out there, though some of the clips are extremely expensive. You do not need to spend that kind of money. Another source for finding music to use to illustrate your videos is the YouTube audio library. They explain their licenses, so pick the ones that have the all use permissions. And you generally will not have trouble with other sites with that music. So you can do all of these interesting things to promote your brand. You've got to do that now. That's not an option. Why? Because corporations are now paying LinkedIn a lot of ridiculous money to use their high-speed scanners to go through thousands of potential applicants scanning profiles. And that's why you need to keep your profile up to date, and you need to update it with written case studies, some video, an introductory video. Younger recruiters like video. So don't say, well, I don't like it, so I'm not going to do it. Play to your audience. That's what you have to do. Play to your audience. So those are just some things we talked about. On Tuesday, we talked about the whole notion that if you don't feel you're worthy of success, that can be a major drawback in highly competitive, intensely competitive market. So please take a look. If you didn't get a chance to see Lunch and Learn on Tuesday or office hours on Wednesday, I encourage you to go back and take a look at those. And we'll try to we may even cut some of those into short clips for next week. But it's really important. I struggle with that. And I told my story about how, my dad was a great, great retail baker. He was a hard worker, but he was not the kind of guy who wanted to be out in front. He was somebody who took great pride in producing a product that would help other people celebrate birthdays or celebrate Christmas, celebrate weddings. And he took great pride in that. And he was extraordinarily good at what he did. But I inherited his DNA. And so when I was working for other people, it was easy for me to promote LifeFlight or Herman Hospital or affiliated hospital systems or, any number of other organizations. But when I started promoting myself, I really struggled, because when I was promoting somebody else, it was their brand, it was their identity, it was their credibility, not mine. And I really struggled with that for a long time. And I really probably held back some of my success in my early days of search. Don't allow yourself to get trapped in that scenario. Don't allow your inner voice to say you're not good enough. Don't allow your inner voice to say you're not worthy of success, because you are. One of the things that we take great pride in our coaching practice is to remind people that they do matter. Remind people that they do count, that they are worthy. You need to hear that. And there are more people who really struggle with that issue than you would believe. Some people would say 60 to 70% of the workforce has some level of that affliction. So if you come to become members of your career community, we're an organization that's about supporting you, giving you the knowledge, giving you the support, giving you the strategic advice to help you two things: overcome that if that's an issue, but number two, to achieve your career and life dreams. We're not life coaches. We're people who can help you, guide you to advancing your career. And so that's what we're here for. That's what our mission is. Are we outplacement coaches? Yes, we do some of that. Do we help people do career transitions? Yes, we do that. Career changes? Yes, we do that. Do we help people prepare for interviews? Yes, we do that. But driving all those things is our commitment to you to help you have a more successful and fulfilling life with your job driving those results. Then on Wednesday, we talked about don't give up, strategies for finding a job in the white collar environment. So please go take a look at that. And the Are You a Worthy Imposter on Lunch and Learn. Now, the Guiding Your Career Report, I want to talk a little bit about that because people say, John, we knew you had a newsletter, but we don't know where it is. Guiding Your Career Report is on Substack. Substack is the premier distribution point for a lot of political columns. A lot of people in financial services publish their newsletters there. It's a really incredible site. We have now almost 600 subscribers. We hope you'll become a subscriber. We produce or post a newsletter 5 days a week, Monday through Friday at 6:30 a.m. And it's Guiding Your Career, John G. Self. So find that site. We hope you'll become a subscriber. It's $7 a month, but it's loaded and you get a lot of content and with insightful information to help you advance your career. If you're Your Career Community member, which is a $49 a month membership fee, the subscription comes in the Your Career Report subscription is included in your membership. Non-members, it's $7 a month. So please come and check this out and join us on that site as well. Now, let's see if we have anything else I want to share with you. I think that's pretty much it. Now, I want to circle back and talk about one other issue. Because the membership program is starting off slow because we did not do an aggressive launch. We're going to pick up the pace there. So right now, founding membership is $49 a month. If you become a founding member, that is your membership fee, $49 a month for as long as you stay on the site. Other people coming in, once we start picking up steam and cross certain benchmarks, the subscription will go up. We have a target, and so get involved today. When you do that, you not only get the newsletter, you get access to all of our online, on-demand video courses. And it teaches you everything from resume, value brand statement, your career plan, your job strategy, how to prepare for interviews. It covers a host of essential career management and job search information. And you have online, unlimited access to that information. You also get 3 monthly telephone or Zoom check-ins for 30 minutes. They're free, a part of your membership. And if you need additional support, say an hour long to get prepared for an interview or a mock interview, you can get that for like $75. That would normally, in a package, a full service done for you package, would be about $200. So it's a great way to save money, and so it's that's more than 50% off. So it's a great value, and we hope you'll become members. If you have questions, you can go to my website, go to the bottom of the page. There's a little button down there called Talk to John. I'm happy to schedule a call and explain the benefit program, answer any of your questions, any struggles you may be having in your job search career. We're happy to help you. Yes, we're trying to build a business, but you don't build a business unless you're committed first to helping people. And that's what we're happy to do on this platform. So we don't have any questions this morning. We usually don't on Career Live. Keep in mind our career questions session called Your Career Questions will pick back up later in the summer. We're taking a break on that program and reevaluating how we handle that particular feature of answering your questions. And so I think we're up on 8 o'clock or a little past 8 o'clock. So I apologize for running over a little bit this morning. I hope you have a great 4th of July weekend. We live on a golf course, and that right adjacent to our patio, and we have this great big umbrellas and the seating area outside, is where they shoot the fireworks for the country club, Cascades, and it's on the fairway of the first golfing hole. And so we have a ringside seat to amazing fireworks. And so I'll take some videos on Thursday. It's supposed to be hot and clear, and I'll post them on the site so you can see what we enjoy. Really great fireworks up close and personal. So I hope you have a great weekend. I'm, going to be around the rest of the day and tomorrow, and then Monday we'll be working in the office, and Tuesday I'm out of town. Wednesday I'll be back in the office. So if you need to schedule some time, please do. Tuesday's blocked off, I believe. So if you need to talk to me, schedule a free consult. Bottom of the page, johngself.com. And until next week, I hope you have a great holiday and a great weekend. Thanks, everybody.